Idaho. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
And I think it's like 9-time Sportscaster of the Year, Jay Tust, joining us here on a Tuesday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. My name is BJ Rains. We are in the Western Collective Studios. Make sure you pick up one of those Horseshoe Golden Ales or the Orange Chaos Seltzer next time you're at Albertson Stadium or Extra Mile Arena or your major local retailer. And again, our title sponsor is RowPaint.com. It is a Taco Bell Tuesday. We got Jay Tust here, sports director at KTVB. And Jay, I know you were 10 seconds late because you were dialing in. You're trying to get in the pre-sale for the Post Malone Jelly Roll tickets.
Yeah, definitely trying to get those. I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna try to go to that. You gonna go?
I was hoping to be a little bit bigger, to be honest. And I do love that it's called the Big Ass Stadium Tour. So Boise Big Ass Stadium Tour for the next 6 months. But
I was a part of the plans to market that thing, and they're trying to come up with a name for it. They settled on that. I said you could also call it the Big BJ Rains Tour.
There you go. I saw you're out there promoting ticket sales. You must be getting free tickets or something here. Look at you.
What do you mean? I sent out a tweet. I'm excited about it. I'm going to go. More than anything, I just thought that like
great. I thought North Brooks was great. I just don't know if Post Malone and Jelly Roll does it for me, but I guess you know what? Closer to the time when it's a random Tuesday. I wish it wasn't a Tuesday night. That's kind of weird. But in June, a random night, if I stumble across some tickets or whatever, it might be a good reason to have a couple beverages and go. But I got to listen to some more Post Malone songs, I guess, to make sure. But I'm getting called out here. They said he's a huge name, 9th most streamed artist on Spotify. Jelly Roll's coming on. He's got a couple good songs. I like Jelly Roll too. So we'll see. I don't know. I was thinking a little bit bigger. I was wanting like a Morgan Wallen type, but it is what it is. It'll be good. It'll be good. And if Boise State and the city of Boise and everybody else can, sell it out and show it off, it only helps future concerts in the future, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. Like I said, it's been fun when they posted concerts on the Blue. So the fact that we get another one here, yeah, it'll be a fun night.
Year.
I agree with that. I want to be surprised. I mean, they've done it. Well, so they did.
Garth Brooks was like 3 years ago, and they had Luke Combs.
Might have been longer than 3 years ago. I didn't get it. I can't remember. I couldn't go to Luke Combs
last year.
Yeah. I think it's because we were having. Yeah. Okay. I think our second child, our first boy was on the way, and we couldn't really make that work. But yeah, as long as there's a concert on the Blue, I'll probably always try to go to those. Those are fun nights.
Yeah. Avery, not a fan of the country music. I got no problem with it.
I think it almost has to be country music in Idaho.
I'm still
waiting. You want to put 40,000 people in the stadium?
You've never had a halftime Super Bowl show be country.
I didn't know that.
But I can remember. Never seen.
Didn't Post Malone perform last year?
Huh?
Didn't Post Malone perform last year?
I don't know if I necessarily count him as country. Maybe he did. I'm talking like a Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen type, maybe. But oh well. Enough of. You know what, Jay? While I'm off topic, I got another quick thing for you. If you pay, this is just. I'm not saying this happened to me. I don't know if my neighbors are listening. Just a random thing. But if you clean your leaves in your yard, okay, and your yard kind of shares with your neighbor's yard, and there's a distinct line in your yard of where your leaves were cleaned and where their leaves weren't, and there's no more leaves in your tree, so it's obvious that where the leaves are at. If the leaves end up blowing into your yard because they didn't clean them up, is that fair or foul? I guess to make reference to that, and not to whatever, but there may have been a fee involved to have the leaves picked up, and all of a sudden you pay some money, and then next thing you know, the leaves that didn't fall from the tree were in your neighbor's yard. They didn't clean them. All of a sudden end up in your yard. What's the protocol there?
Why are you outing the fact that I'm your neighbor?
Well, I didn't even tell people that, but it's actually John that didn't rake his leaves, but that's what I'm talking about here. But
yeah.
Is that wrong on me for not raking their entire yard of leaves? Or is that I don't know.
As the new guy in the neighborhood, you might want to kind of extend that, that welcoming hand, if you will.
Okay.
Get on their good side.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I was thinking that's wrong. I should have been the one to rake their leaves, but instead they don't rake theirs. They're lazy, and then the wind blows them into my yard, and all of a sudden that's my problem again.
I think you know the answer.
They're at fault. I should go knock on their door and complain.
Absolutely. Let's treat this thing like you treat Twitter. Let's get after it a little bit.
Tyler K says, shout out to Alex Martin. Yes, Alex Martin, 208 Lawn and Landscape. They do great work. Josh DeWitt says, put your kids to work, BJ. Yeah, maybe that's Tyler says, help them out. Be neighborly. All right, here I was trying to complain, and maybe I'm the one at fault here. I should have known with this society, all of a sudden it was going to backfire on me here, but
we just like picking on you.
Let's see. Deploy young Naismith to the leaves. Be a hero. That's what leaf blowers are for. I actually was wondering about that. Can you just blow them right back into their yard, or is that wrong too?
Yeah, just go for it at this point.
Neighbors can be such a pain. Move out into the country. Get some land. Wouldn't we all love to do that, I guess?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
All right, we got a couple of cool different things going on the show today. I do want to dive into special teams, Jay, because you and me were asking some questions about that. I looked up some numbers. We added Nathan Carroll to the team, and one of the benefits of adding Nathan is he has access to a lot of pro football focused data like one Jay Tust. So I was able to dive into some of the kickoff specialists and some of the numbers there, some missed tackles numbers on special teams. And so I wrote about 1,500 words, getting pretty into the weeds on the different special teams issues, in part because Spencer Danielson was pretty honest and open about it, Jay. And so I kind of just went through one by one some of the issues on special teams, and we'll get to that. The college football playoff rankings coming out tonight, what our guests will be on that. I want to get into that a little bit. And then we have a cool announcement from Jackson's, and we also have an RJ Keene trick-or-treating video that I want to play today that we're ready for. So we got some football, basketball, different stuff. Where do you want to start here? CFP, special teams, basketball. Where do you want to go, Jay?
CFP is probably the most significant one tonight because I think we really find out what the committee thinks of the Mountain West or Boise State versus the Big 12. And you have a 1-loss BYU, a 2-loss Colorado, and a 1-loss Boise State, and that one loss was the top team in the country. Which direction are they going to go with giving that first round bye to? And I'll kind of be interested in it. I think you look at a lot of across the country, a lot of the national people, they still feel like the Big 12 is going to get that first round bye. But I don't know, man. I got a feeling that at least for tonight, I think Boise State can earn that slot.
I do. I don't think it will last if Colorado wins out and wins the Big 12. But, don't know if I need to find my hat again today. But, Colorado's got another tough game this weekend. So we'll see what happens. Everyone wants to whatever. I know it's just all in good fun. But Kansas really is playing some good football right now. And I think they could take down Colorado, which could cause even more craziness. I wonder how far they drop BYU. It also wouldn't shock me if they just kept BYU at 12 and Boise State at 13. There's a lot of different ways they could do it, but this is a made for TV type. Let's have something to talk about for a week. And I think this would be one of their ways to explain this and do all this. Like, yeah, we have Boise State ranked 12, but they're number 4 seed. I could totally see that for tonight. And I think there's actually a decent chance that could happen just so you have a week to talk about it. But I don't think that right now it could actually would actually happen, I guess, if Colorado – I've already seen somebody projecting Colorado will be the 4 seed tonight. Mm-hmm. I'd be a little surprised if they jump all the way up in front of Boise State right now. Maybe we're already at that point. I don't know. I think they can at some point. But there's a lot of chaos that could happen in the Big 12. SMU, there could be some chaos there. I kind of wanted to get into the Tulane discussion with you too, Jay, because I guess it's maybe a 5% chance, but is there a chance that both Tulane and Boise State or Army and Boise State could both be the 4th and 5th ranked highest champions and the Big 12 implodes and doesn't even get a spot in this field at all? Again, remote, probably not, going to happen. But again, if Colorado loses to Kansas and then you have, a 3-loss team win the Big 12, if Arizona State, were to beat BYU and then they lose in a championship game, like, I know it probably won't happen, but there is a weird scenario out there where the Big 12 champion could be ranked below both Boise State and either Army or Tulane. I don't know. A lot of rambling there. Take that where you want.
I think that the Big 12 will probably take care of itself. And then at some point in time, we're going to hear about how, strong the conference is when I really don't think the Big 12 is that strong this year. Some of their strengths of schedules, Boise State and Colorado have now nearly evened out. Boise State played at San Jose State this last week. Colorado hosted Utah. And now for the first time, Colorado kind of dips ahead of Boise State's strength of schedule, but it's really close. It's 76-73. Boise State had held kind of a comfortable advantage on that. I'm assuming the Washington State loss at New Mexico probably hurts Boise State's strength of schedule somewhere along how they add up those metrics. But I think, BJ, I think Kansas wins this week. And I'm even more confident that Arizona State wins this week against BYU. And I just think the conference kind of takes care of itself. But I don't know. The crazy thing to me is that when you kind of look back at things and who's got what win, tell me why. I don't understand why Colorado should be ranked ahead of Boise State. I struggle with that one. The only ranked opponent they played was Kansas State, and they lost by 3 at home, and then they got smoked at Nebraska, where they only scored 10 points in that game. They barely got past North Dakota State in the season opener. Outside of that, maybe their most impressive win is at UCF, and UCF is 4-6 on the season. They won big at Arizona. Arizona's 4-6 on the season. They have a win over a 5
Nebraska as well. Somebody points out, very average Nebraska team.
I don't know. I guess maybe their best win is actually maybe Texas Tech, but Texas Tech is 6-4. I just don't know what screams about their schedule that they should be outside of the hype around the program, which Deion Sanders beautifully builds and gets people to buy in. I don't really understand it. So it is what it is.
Speaking of hype, I saw, and I know they don't do this, they probably do actually, but I know they say they don't kind of the made for TV matchups and all this stuff. It's all about the seeding and whatever. I get it, but actually Colorado not getting a bye, Colorado having to play a first round game might actually help with another 2 weeks of hype and ratings than if Colorado is just sitting around there till New Year's Eve.
Maybe you're right. That yeah.
I don't know if they would say, "Oh, we're putting Boise State ahead of them," because because of that, we want them playing the first round game. I'm just saying it wouldn't. 2 more weeks of hype with Dion, having them play a first round game or whatever, I don't think would be the end of the world for hype and things like that.
You're probably right on that. That's another way to look at it. Somebody suggested that to me the other day as well, and if that's really the way the committee leans, I hope that that's not what they're using as their tie-breaking processes or whatever.
We talked about this, Jay, like as much as we like Boise State, whoever could be very deserving, but in the first year, I just still think it's going to be very hard in the final poll for that tonight. Yes, Boise State could be the 4 seed. It's a talking point, whatever. And maybe if Kansas does go beat Colorado and there's more more teams picking each other off, like I don't think a 2-loss Arizona State would pass them, would they? If they win the Big 12, are they ranked higher than Boise State's? If BYU loses Saturday and Colorado loses Saturday, like Boise State's, I don't want to say, has it, but who else in the Big 12 would be able to pass Boise State at that point? So that would be another monument. The one that you'd really be worried about, I think, is Colorado. So that would be a huge loss for them. This gentleman says, but Travis Hunter has 6 billion snaps. I don't know. I just as much as Boise State deserves it and likes it, if there is at all any defendable scenario for them not to do it, I feel like in the first year, pissing off the Big 12 and not doing it would be a big deal. But if they all have 2 and 3 losses and Boise State's sitting there at 12-1, and it's like impossible not to do it and impossible not to defend it, like maybe the Big 12 just understands it. But I still, when push comes to shove, I still think it's going to be hard for a Boise State to get a bye.
You're probably right, but I'm just going to reiterate. I just don't. Honestly, Arizona State might be able to be the team that makes the big jump too, because they finally got a ranked win last week over Kansas State on the road, so that was a good one. And then they play BYU this week, who will be somewhere around the top 10 still, even after their loss, probably 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. So, that's one thing to consider with Arizona State. They have their rivalry game after BYU to wrap up the season. I just don't. There's not a team in the Big 12 that if I'm Boise State would scare me. There just isn't. Like I'm okay with it. And one other thing that you kind of have to factor in too, BJ, when we talk about the rankings, and even the AP poll was a little interesting. And as a basketball voter, I hate how you kind of have to decide, which win is better or which loss is better and things like that. But like, okay, so BYU lost at home to what was a 3-6 Kansas team, as you know. That's their one loss. SMU's one loss is in Provo by 3. So do you value the head-to-head knowing that BYU beat SMU, or is BYU's loss worse than SMU's loss, so you put the Mustangs ahead? For me, when it's only one loss, I would actually probably lean on the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Well, I would too. And people, it was early in the season, whatever. Like, you have the most easiest trackable data point in history. You played that team. Like, who won that game should definitely matter, in my opinion.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm sorry, I think I said at BYU. I think it was actually at SMU. So there is a head-to-head there. And in the AP poll, it didn't play out that way. SMU was ahead of BYU. So I'll be really interested to see what the College Football Playoff Committee thinks of that, kind of tiebreaker or matchup.
This is not true, Avery. You're wrong. Sorry. The Big 12 can't. It says the Big 12 can't be left out. Their champion makes it no matter what. That's not true. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions get automatic bids. He says some of you all don't understand how this playoff stuff works, and that's crazy. That's not true, Avery. It's crazy that you're going to come on here and you don't know what you're talking about. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions. It's not Power 4 plus 1. If there are 2 Group of 5 champions that finish ranked higher than one of the Power 5 champions, then the Power 5 champion does not go. It is not a guarantee. The SEC is not guaranteed a spot. The Big 10 is not guaranteed a spot. It is the 5 highest champions. You could have the 5 Group of 5 it is 100% possible for the Group of 5 to get the 5 conference champions. If the Sun Belt champion is higher and the Mountain West and all those champions are higher, you could have the Sun Belt, Mountain West, big whatever. There is no auto bid for the Big 12. There is no auto bid for the SEC. It is the 5 highest ranked champions, regardless of conference. So if Tulane and Boise State both win their conference and are both ranked higher than the Big 12 champion, the Big 12 champion can still get an at-large bid, but they are not guaranteed one of the 5 guaranteed spots. Simple as that. But I will say this, Jay, and you're muted, by the way. I will say this. It is ridiculous. They have to do something, Jay, because it is very confusing when you're filling out this bracket and you're like, oh, Boise, like tonight, Boise State's number 12. Oh, wait, they're number 4. Oh, wait, they like, and College Game Day actually spent like 5 minutes like walking it like as basic as possible on College Game Day on Saturday, trying to like explain exactly how it is. But for the casual fans, like, I don't know if you just want to do the bracket and not the rankings, or I don't know how you do it, Jay, but like it is kind of confusing to say, oh, well, Ohio State's number 2. No, they're number 5. Oh, that part of it I do think is very confusing. And when you throw in the guaranteed spots for the champions and all that, I don't know how you if you change it or not, or how you do it.
I don't know. I think it's okay because rankings are one thing and seeding is another, right? I mean, we see that with the NCAA basketball tournament where, you have teams that are, I don't know, ranked 25th in the country, and then all of a sudden the NCAA tournament starts and there's a little 4 next to their name because they're a 4 seed. Like, I think it's okay. People will figure that out. It's the first year, like just give it some grace. And on top of that too, like,
Jay's frozen on mine. Don't know if Jay froze on you guys, but that's a great freeze frame for Jay Tust right there, actually. So
when I call this up, I'm just after year 1. Like,
there you are.
Am I back? Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
You're
anyways, what I was saying is like there's
a couple sponsors. Why don't you just reload your screen because your voice is not lining up with your face right now. Jay's going to come right back here in just a second. But all right, Bronco Nation News Live. We got a lot of cool things to get to on the show today. But while Jay loads back in, I'll go ahead and thank a couple of our sponsors. Horseshoe Collective, Golden Ale, and the Orange Chaos Seltzer available from Western Collective. You can get them at Albertson Stadium, or you can also get them at Extra Mile Arena. And those money goes back into the pocket of the Horseshoe Collective and the student athletes at Boise State. And again, they're going to have a watch party on Saturday. Go to the brewery in Garden City, right off the connector, 5 o'clock. Watch that Wyoming game. Bring your friends, great drink and food specials. And again, you're helping out the Horseshoe Collective and you're helping out Boise State in the process. Western Collective, our studio sponsor. RoePaint.com, ROEPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Check them out, RoePaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State. Whether it's those concrete coatings, whether it's the, interior, exterior painting, they can help you out at RoePaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there on your smartphone and the ICCU app. I know you may like your banking experience, but I promise you folks, you will like it even more at ICCU. Check them out online, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher Real Estate, number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out. BauscherRealEstate.com. And again, Rain's family bought and sold our home using Matt and his team, and it was tremendous, and we were very thankful and glad that we did. So support the sponsors, folks. He's part of the Boise State home team now, so support him, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. And Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. The VIP basketball experience is back. We haven't picked the game yet, but we're going to give a subscriber 2 tickets or two seats, I guess, on a private jet to a road basketball game this year. And you got to be a yearly paying subscriber at BNN. So I know a lot of you are getting ready to renew. If you're on the fence, subscribe now. We'd love to have you. And again, shopridleys.com. They're the sponsor of the trip, Ridley's Family Markets. So check them out, support them. And locations across the state of Idaho and surrounding states. You won't be disappointed when you head into Ridley's. And again, make sure you're a yearly subscriber to be eligible for that drawing. We'll tell you more details about that moving forward here. All right, Jay, I think we got you back now. We were talking just about how this is all going to play out between Tulane, Boise State, Colorado. The Tulane argument's getting interesting as well. I don't necessarily see that. I will be curious where they're ranked. Obviously, Army has a big game against Notre Dame coming up, and then they'll play in the championship game. But I guess the Army the Tulane Boise State angle here, and our friend Danny Cannell. I don't know what happened to him on his last trip to Boise, but he just doesn't seem like much of a fan right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that one, man. Out of all of them, I don't get that one because Tulane has 2 losses to teams that aren't very. I mean, well, one of them, I guess, fine. Kansas State's fine, but the other one's Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's got great face value because of the name on the front of their jersey, but they are a shell of what they normally are. So I'm not taking that as necessarily a good loss for Tulane. If anything, that was their opportunity to win a football game and have a Power 5 win or a Power 4 win, but they don't have that. I'm not buying the Tulane argument. I think that they're well behind Boise State, and they should be. And so far, the College Football Playoff Committee has said that they're well behind Boise State. The Broncos just have to keep winning. Said that again last week. I really think that's just the case. I don't necessarily think style points matter at this point in time. Just keep winning, and they'll be fine. And yeah, how did that Boise State game go against Oklahoma? 15 years ago, or maybe longer ago than that now. But Boise State's got that head-to-head, so that's a good thing.
Who would you rather play, Jay, in the Mountain West Championship game? Because I think this is an interesting thought, too. If UNLV gets ranked and then, doesn't go to the championship game, there's a chance they stay ranked, and that's a nice win for Boise State. But the better win, I guess, at the time would be to beat UNLV in the championship game than Colorado State.
Unfortunately, I actually think that it's Colorado State. I do. Because I think people that kind of evaluate this process on a national level can be a little short-minded, and they might even forget that game even happened, right? But if they can just simply look at a schedule and see that little number next to UNLV and know that Boise State beat them when they had that little number next to their name or not or whatever, I think that helps the Broncos. And another thing too, man, I could be very wrong, but I think that Boise State, if they get to host Colorado State on the blue, that is going to be a statement victory. I think the Broncos will absolutely unload on the Rams. I do. Colorado State does not scare me. I think that Boise State, given what happened there last year, would be so ecstatic about that matchup. Not only the fact that they get to play Colorado State, but the fact it's for the Mountain West Championship. There's a little bit of, I would say there's some juice between these two fan bases for sure. And there'd be some hype coming into that game, and Boise State would absolutely take care of business and have that statement victory that they need in the college football, or going into the college football playoff final rankings. So the better game is absolutely Boise State UNLV, unequivocally. Like it's not even close. It is night and day in my opinion. But for Boise State fans' sake, I think you hope Colorado State just kind of continues to do their thing, win out, and it's the Rams on the blue, and you get a chance to. Because another way you look at that too, BJ, I mean, Colorado State's not going to get ranked by then, but they have 2 receiving votes. Like they at least appear to have a good record, and so you could say, they could have 9 wins, I think, by then.
Yeah, it's just weird how the better game would end up hurting you if UNLV falls out of the rankings if you beat them.
That's just kind of the way this works, I feel like, though.
Ranked win if you didn't play them because they wouldn't lose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know.
This or somebody, if they lose whoever the 2-loss SEC team is that loses the championship, are they out? But a team that didn't play, like I've said this before, I think Penn State is a fraud. Every year, James Franklin somehow manipulates it and gets into the playoff for these big BCS bowl games every year, it seems like. And who have they beaten this year? Penn State has beaten nobody, and they're going to get the 5 seed maybe or the 6 seed because they don't have to play in the championship game. And somebody like Indiana, who's undefeated, could lose this week and be out. I mean, I'm not sure they're legit either, but Penn State's the one that I'm always just like, man, how do they keep doing this every single year? And they're going to just sit back, miss the championship game, have the 1 loss, and get in. And maybe if they have a home game, they'll win the first game. But I don't think Penn State, when they play another top 12 caliber team, we'll see what happens. They won't. I don't think they're a serious contender to win it all.
I'm not going to go as far as to say that they're frauds, because you can't. I mean, to still have, they're going to be 11-1 at the end of the regular season, so they at least have to be good. But I'm right there with you. It's wild that them missing out on playing in the Big 10 or Big 12 Big 10 championship game, it's like going to massively help them. Like if they had to play in that thing and inevitably lose to Oregon or Ohio State, then I mean they couldn't beat Ohio State at home Who's to say they could beat them on a neutral field? Like that, the fact that they're not going to play in the Big Ten championship game, and that's really going to help them avoid another loss and likely be like a 5 seed or a 6 seed or something, as you said, BJ. That's, I guess, likely the 6 because the 5 will go to somebody else. But
So
that's tough.
Before we move on, yes or no, Boise State's the 4 seed tonight.
I think they're going to be the 4 seed tonight, and it's going to generate a ton of buzz and all this stuff. And yeah, I think that they're going to be the 4 seed tonight. And I think that, maybe campaigning doesn't really matter, BJ. It might not, but I also feel like, there are other programs to get a bigger spotlight on them, and they have no fear in using those, opportunities to say, we deserve this and we deserve that and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, maybe it really doesn't matter, and you're worried about the focus of your team even more than that. But we live in a society today that if you're not saying look at me, then maybe people aren't going to look at you. And I think Boise State needs to start saying, hey, look at me, look at us. And because you just never know what this is going to come down to. It's going to be close, and buzz clearly matters. It matters in the Heisman race. I still think that Ashton Jeanty is the best player in America and the most valuable player to his team. And I would love to, chat with a football coach about if they're game planning for either of those teams, who keeps them up longer at night? Because I really think that the way you see opponents approach Boise State, it is absolutely 2 in the backfield for the Broncos. And when you talk about what matters and what impacts winning, how often do you ever hear like, hey, what helps you win ball games? How often do you hear, a cornerback and a wide receiver? No, you hear run the football. We need to run the football. And Boise State does it as good as anybody in America, and Ashton Jeanty is the best in America at doing it. And he's good early, he's good late. That's my opinion, man. And by the way, don't tweet without any type of opinion or anything like that. Do not tweet what Travis Hunter's tackle numbers are. Do not do that, because that is a massive trigger to a certain fan base. Just you cannot tweet out a fact that Travis Hunter has 23 tackles on the season. That's a bad thing to do, because at that point in time, you know nothing about football if you simply state that Travis Hunter has 23 tackles on the season. At that point in time, you know nothing about football.
Well, yeah, tonight's rankings are going to be interesting, and I did see that. Yeah, now Travis Hunter is like minus 400 to win the Heisman at Circa. So,
but again, just I got to reiterate, BJ, and again,
and where their money's coming from.
It does, like it doesn't, and unfortunately, and I'm attributing to this, no doubt, but because there's really no live ranking of who's in the lead, so we lean on those numbers. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Las Vegas is predicting that Travis Hunter is going to win the Heisman Trophy. This is more to do with money and stuff like that, and who's betting what. Yep. And so, unfortunately, though, it is kind of being viewed as a leaderboard of who is the favorite. I just hope that the Heisman Trophy voters don't really buy into that too much and really use and evaluate things differently, because that's the way that it should be. And another thing too, why are there so many Heisman voters? Like, I don't like, how is it? This seems like an archaic way to decide who the best player in the country is.
Just let Mike Prater decide it then.
I mean, I know other people that got Heisman votes, and I'm like, some of them aren't even really in the media anymore. Yeah, and I'm like, how do you have a Heisman vote?
Like 10 years in the quote media or something, or PFFA or something. I don't know what the rules are, but we'll come back to football in a minute, Jay, but I did have a cool little announcement here. One of our sponsors, Jackson's, people have been asking for this, Jay. They say we got the Breezy Bundle. We got the, all this stuff. We need something basketball related. Well, today is your day. Tyson Degenhart, Omar Stanley, Andrew Meadow, Jackson's allowing us to kind of get the campaign rolling on this here on the show. New NIL deals for these three fine gentlemen on the screen. And here's the catch, Jay. In January and February, if the Boise State men's basketball team can score 70 points in a game, then you get a hot dog, a soda, and a banana for $2 at Jackson's 2 days later. So it's like half off the actual price. Any size soda or coffee, I believe. I think it's a soda. Any size, and a hot dog and a banana for $2 if Boise State can score 70 points in a game in January or February. So that is available at all the local Jackson stores in the Treasure Valley. So again, if it happens on a Thursday, the promo will run on Saturday. So Meadows, Stanley, and Degenhart getting NIL deals. They'll get some money for that, and they get to partner with them, and they'll be in some commercials and some ads. But fans have a little stake in the game too, Jay. And as you know, Boise State, 70 points, that can happen fairly often here. I
think that even more so than years past, that's gonna be a dangerous gamble there for Jackson's, in my opinion. I think this team, they're definitely a little more efficient offensively, a little more lethal offensively. I think that they will win some brick fights, as we've called them in the past, but I don't think this team's going to necessarily have to rely on that, as much as they did in previous years. I think 70 could be something they eclipse, definitely more often than not in conference play, in my opinion.
Well, Jackson's, as everybody knows, 300-plus convenience stores in Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, California, and Utah under the Jackson's and Extra Mile brands. And again, Jackson's stepping up again. They're doing a lot of great things with the Horseshoe Collective, with Boise State, and now some NIL deals on the football side and on the basketball side. So root for 70 points in January and February, and Boise State will get you'll get $2 for a hot dog, a soda, and banana at Jackson's. All right, well, something else I wanted to also debut here real quick, Jay, is a short video that our man RJ Keene put together. He has a deal with Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com, and RJ Keene went trick-or-treating with a kid dressed up as RJ Keene. And so RJ Keene, as part of his deal with Signature Roofing, put this little video together here.
RJ Keene, I'm here with
RJ Keene.
Today, we're going to go around, and he's going to ask people if they know who I am.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you. We just moved here, so we don't have candy. Sorry.
Do you know who I am?
No.
Boise State player, number 5. Do you know who I am?
No. Oh, are you a football player?
No, basketball.
You're a basketball?
Yeah.
See, I told you we just moved here.
Do you know who I am?
No.
I mean, I've been on the team for 4 years. Do you know who I am?
No.
I mean, I've been hitting threes, getting the ladies screaming. Do you know who I am? I'll give you a huge hint.
You got me, bud.
Tessa.
Happy Halloween.
Hi. Oh my gosh, you're scary. Happy Halloween.
Do you know who I'm dressed as?
I have no idea. Who are you dressed as?
Do you know who Boise State is?
Yes.
Do you know their basketball team?
No.
So there's a guy named RJ King, and he's played for 4 years, and he's really good. Would you like to meet him someday?
I don't know. I'm not a huge basketball fan. Do you think he'd hold that against me?
So no. Would you like to meet him?
Sure.
I'm right here.
That's him.
Oh, I'm Shauna.
RJ, you gotta come to more. You gotta come to a game.
Just for you, I will.
No one knows who I am out here. I think we struck out.
Happy Halloween. Hello. Do you know who I'm dressed as?
Who are you dressed as?
Do you know who Boise State is, basketball?
I do.
There's this guy named RJ King, and he's played on the team for 4 years, and he's really good.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet him?
Sure.
I'm right here.
That's
Yeah, he's dressed as me this year. We're going around,
Yeah.
just, being nice.
That's so cool. I love that.
Does he look
Are you guys
good?
related?
Yeah, he's my little brother.
Yeah, I'm his little
Oh,
brother.
that's so
You can tell by the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you nailed it on the hair.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
so cool.
He thought I was his brother.
What?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Do you know?
Sir, pull right up
Do you know who I'm dressed as?
Okay, so Bronco, you got a mic on, your famous dude, somebody with number 5?
Yeah.
Who you dressed as?
He's good friends with Tyson Degenhart. Really good friends.
Got me, my guy. Who are you?
Nobody seems to know who I'm dressed as, but I mean, I'm still getting candy in the process, so.
There you go. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, same to you. Appreciate it.
Treat.
You just get out of a game? Who are you?
Come on, number 5? Boise State?
Oh, okay.
Basketball?
Okay, I don't get it, but he...
Wait. The number 5, the RJ guy?
Yes, RJ.
RJ Keene?
Oh.
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
I
Where's
see.
he? Are you him?
Yeah.
Oh. That's awesome. Well, we want to go to the game. I thought you were him. Nice to meet you.
You're kind of short though, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
What's up, man? You got enough candies?
Isaac's taking it all for
All right, here you go, Isaac.
He got the flow. He looks good.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Good luck this season.
Thank you. Thank you. Upstairs. I'm gonna ask for more. Trick or treat.
How old are you?
13.
Oh my God.
You're the top 15-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Too tall.
We got her.
We got this. We got
Stuff. And yeah, if that guy walked up to if RJ Keene walked up to my house with that mask on asking for candy, I would have been a little bit scared, Jay.
He's a scary dude. I mean, he didn't go back and give that lady her candy back, by the way. Gosh, I'm going to have a serious talk with RJ next time I see him. That's kind of messed up.
He's put 2 of these videos together, Jay, and in both of them, not many people knew who he was. And I mean, at some point here, if he keeps playing the way he is, like, we need some more people around this town to start knowing who RJ Keene is here. Come on.
I think that RJ is going to become a fan favorite very quickly. He's a guy that's really going to help take this team to the next level, in my opinion. He could be the piece off the bench that they have missed for a long, long time. He can pass it. He can shoot it. He can get to the free throw line, apparently. My goodness. Yes. And he's just got, as you can tell, he's just got some charisma to him, man. So I think that RJ is going to be a guy. It might take until the middle of January because that's when things really start to pick up. You get into conference play. Everybody's solely focused on that. It might take a little while, but RJ's playing some really good basketball. And I mean, I know he didn't score a ton against Clemson, but that was kind of a big 3 that he hit at that point in time in the game. Like, Clemson kind of was hanging around, and you just kind of felt like that was a little deflating. Shot clock winding down. RJ hits the 3. I was still at the airport in San Jose, BJ, and it's really funny because you just looked around the terminal and everybody was like this. Everybody's watching the game on their phones. And then randomly you'd hear like, or something like that. But that was one of those moments where, you heard a little cheer in the terminal when RJ hit that 3.
Yeah, and huge win over Clemson, and yeah, he's nice piece coming off the bench, and so yeah, we need to start some more videos where people are knowing who he is here in these videos, because I mean, come on. But he's funny. That if and that's why I love covering basketball too. You just get to, I feel like you get to know these guys a little bit better just with the access you get and the personality that you can kind of come out and stuff like this and these videos and stuff. And so it's cool that Signature Roofing again wanted to partner with RJ Keene and again, mysignatureroofing.com. You can check them out. They do a tremendous job, and we're thankful for My Signature Roofing for wanting to do some deals with RJ, and we'll have kind of periodic stuff coming up. He's got some really cool, I mean, they're going to be giving away, like, they got some really cool stuff going on. I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but this company, Joel and Watts and the whole crew over there, I mean, they are very they're all about giving back to the community, and they had a lot of cool like Thanksgiving, Christmas type things with some gas giveaways and some I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be cool to see some of the stuff that RJ is going to be involved with, giving back to the community and helping some less fortunate folks here over the holidays. So it's all fun and games, but there's some serious aspects to this partnership as well, and it's going to be cool to see. So Signature Roofing, way to go. Check them out, mysignatureroofing.com. Jay, only got you for another couple minutes here. I can keep this thing rolling, but I did want to get a take quickly from you on special teams. I was looking up some of the numbers. 18 missed tackles on special teams is the second most in the Mountain West Conference. You look at some of the other numbers. The kickoff thing's been weird for me because he was pretty honest about it. But the guy that's actually doing the best isn't getting as much chances. Jarrett Reeser has statistically been the best kickoff man. He's averaging 64.9 yards per kickoff, 13 touchbacks and 24 chances, 54%. But Terrence Shive has double the chances, but has 3 less yards per kick and a significantly worse touchback percentage as well. We've seen Dalmas try it as well. So I know the kickoffs has been an issue that you asked Spencer about. I mentioned some of the other issues. I mean, they rank 119th out of 134 teams in the yards per kickoff. They're 99th in touchback percentage. And they also rank in the 80s as well, Jay, in terms of opponents' starting field position. And so You can go up and down the line, all the special teams. There have not been very many that have been good. Even Jonah Dalmas missed a field goal the other day. You had, I think rightfully so, but Spencer kind of, calling out James Ferguson Reynolds a little bit too, saying, hey, he's a heck of a punter, but he's got to, we need a little more distance and a little more hang time on some of these punts. So, I mean, it's nobody on special teams, I think, is, I know Jonah's 10 of 12 having a very solid season, but I mean, nobody is like perfect right now in the special teams category. It seems like it's one error after another, one fumble after another. It's just they can't get out of their own way. And they paid Stacey Collins a lot of money. As I said in my story, I still think that's going to prove to be over time a solid addition. But to this point, Jay, it's hard to, say it any other way than to this point, the results have not added up to the hype and the investment that Boise State made in special teams this year.
It sucks to say, but you're not wrong. I mean, reality probably hurts sometimes, but we all watch the games. And it's funny because sometimes special teams go south, and I feel like there was a little bit of a reaction that was pointed at us for not asking about it, but like we have asked about it. Like we've asked about it when it's been necessary to be asked about. And even largely yesterday, BJ, we were given the same answers. We were told by Spencer before, the goal is to kick it out of the end zone. And they're not kicking it, or at least through the end zone, to the end zone, whatever. And they're not doing it nearly often enough. And it's funny because, like, it really does seem like an execution thing, because there's a kick at like a front pylon or something like that. And it might seem like they're trying to be directional with it. And maybe they're just not giving us the full story. I don't know, BJ. But it really seemed like Spencer Dannison was very clear yesterday. Like, no, if every kickoff could be a touchback, we want every kickoff to be a touchback. It was cut and dry. That's what he said. And now it's to the point, BJ, where they use 3 kickoff guys against San Jose State. Like that's kind of wild to think about.
In one game.
And he says practice means everything, and they get into the game and the execution might not be there. And they're not afraid to kind of make that move. And so, yeah, the other day they used 3 different kickoff guys in a single game. And they are to be 10 games in, ranked, 13th in the country, 9-1, 8-game winning streak, one of the longest in the country. It's just weird that that's still something that they're kind of searching for or fighting for. And I don't completely get it. I'm not a kicker, but I think that we thought going into the season, at least the field goal unit and the punting unit, we thought was going to be a massive competitive advantage for the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it has been. And I will say this about Jonah, man, like he also hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities this year because they've been so darn good in the red zone. I mean, Boise State is the best of the best when it comes to red zone efficiency. And so he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. That being said, it also kind of sucks, man. He should be at 92 field goals right now. They fake one. He misses another that's very, very makeable for Jonah Dalmas. That is like 100 out of 100. You expect him to make it from that distance almost.
Yeah.
And now he's left at 90, still 7 shy. We're getting to the point in the season, BJ, where the difference between trying to kick 5 more field goals and 7 more field goals, just it feels like a lot.
Yeah. And he was, 24 of 27 last year, 10 of 12 this year. So less, attempts, but also the percentage is lower too. 10 of 12 versus 24 of 27. And that, 34-yarder. I think Spencer said just can't happen. I mean, you just can't miss a 34-yard field goal in that situation. And obviously said he was confident and they'll put him back out there again in that spot if the game's on the line. But even we mentioned James Ferguson Reynolds, and he doesn't qualify for the punting because he hasn't punted enough times, but he is 6 yards per punt lower than his average last year. And so he led the nation in punting last year. He'd be 36th if the numbers qualified to this point, but he's 6 yards per punt less. Some of that is field position and how far you can kick it, and I get all that, but
some of the hang time has been interesting this year though, BJ. Like
he's had a couple of low liners right at guys where it's like, what was that? Like it has been different. And like I said, Boise State ranks 99th in opponents' kick return yards, 22.1 per return. Even worse, Jay, and I know a lot of this is due to the punt return at Oregon, but the overall numbers, the Broncos rank 131st in punt returns, 17.89 punt return yards per return, and they're one of just 4 teams in the country to give up both a punt and kick return for a touchdown. Both of those obviously came in the same game. And as I said, the average starting field position for Boise State's defense the 28-yard line, which ranks 87th nationally. And that does factor in some turnovers. That's not just kicks and punts. But Boise State, and again, kudos to Spencer Danielson, man. I said it on Twitter, but a lot of coaches, definitely the previous coach, probably wouldn't have gone in depth and given us those kind of answers and let us have a 10-minute discussion about special teams. It would have been a lot of stare downs and next question type stuff. So the fact that he was honest about it and open, and like I said, I was always kind of wondering about that touchback thing. So I was like, you know what? Like, might as well just ask, are you trying to touchback every time? And he's like, yes, every time, every single time. And we like, we're going to work really hard to find someone that can do it. And I said, is it as simple as finding somebody with a stronger leg? And he's like, yes, and we will. But that is really what it comes down to. It just doesn't seem like they have somebody that can consistently kick it into the end zone, Jay. And we even saw it. I think you were sitting by me, but like the second half was starting in like 15 seconds. Like the other team was about to take the field for the second half. Like literally the clock's about over. The refs are ready to start. And I forget who it was. I think Reese or maybe, but somebody, or no, Shive, I think, was like still out there trying to get one more practice kickoff in. It was it was like, it was just very odd. It was like the BP pitcher throwing you a BP fastball, like while the starting pitcher's waiting to take the field to warm up. Like it was just very odd. And that just shows you where they're at right now. And yeah, it did cost them a game against Oregon, 100% cost them. And so I think, are we getting nitpicky, whatever, when this team, like, we can only ask about Ashton Genty being amazing so many times. There's only so, but there are other issues on this team, pass defense included, and some of the other things that, like, you're winning, but you may not be winning much longer if some of this doesn't improve. And it seems like Spencer Danielson understands that.
I'll leave you on this, BJ. I think that once you get into November, it's harder. It's harder to win football games, right? And maybe on Friday we can kind of go into defense a little bit more, because I thought their approach on defense was super, super interesting. But you realize the margin for error is shrinking. And when you get to the Mountain West Championship and the college football playoff, the margin for error is virtually nothing. And these are errors they've got to fix in order to have a shot to hoist a title and go play in a playoff.
Bigger issue for you real quick, special teams or pass defense?
I think I'm going to say that's supposed to be a 2-second answer. The only reason why I'm just gonna go special teams for now, because special teams is something that I think you can fix and need to fix. And pass defense, I think that's another conversation.
Yeah. Well, I can get into some more comments and thoughts about it. I know we're contractually obligated to let you go, but we appreciate your time today, Jay. We'll do it again on Friday, as we'll have a football game and a basketball game to talk about. So we'll touch base on your schedule traveling. Oh, I think you and me are both not going to the football game this week. That might be a first ever in the history in my 12, 13 years here that you and me both will be. Good luck to the rest of them coming up with what to ask. I don't know, but Brady will do a great job for KTVB. You guys will obviously still be there, and we'll talk Friday morning then, and we'll have a basketball tournament to talk about, a football tournament, or football game, and then the rankings and all that stuff. So appreciate it, Jay.
Yep, sounds good, bud.
All right, there he is, Jay Tust. Appreciate him for jumping on. I can keep this thing rolling for a little bit if you got some comments and thoughts. TheSpaTeam.com, Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Whether it's a sauna, a pool table, a spa, they got you covered. Check them out online at TheSpaTeam.com. The weather's starting to get cold. That snow, that ice. Make sure you have an all-wheel drive vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. The Rains family, we've got our F-150 from Lithia. We're ready. We got the four-wheel drive. Head on in now. Make sure you have the right vehicle for the conditions. And again, the best selection, the best prices, Lithia Ford of Boise, but also their commitment to Boise State and what they're doing in terms of their, they've got 6 NIL deals with student athletes driving their vehicles. They've got coaches. They've got administrators. Like, you're not going to find many bigger sponsors in Lithia Ford of Boise, of Boise State Athletics and of Bronco Nation News. So return the favor. Next time you're looking to purchase a vehicle, make it at Lithia Ford Boise, and you can check them out online at lithiafordboise.com. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. We appreciate the SON Management Group, the Nicolason families. We told you earlier, this is a Taco Bell Tuesday, so get on out to Taco Bell. Take the family out. If you're trying to eat keto like me, they still have the Cantina Bowls and some of the other options there, but great food, great prices. My kids love the slushies there, and so highly recommend the food there. But again, they are hiring if you're looking for a job, so check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. And again, they have great promotional opportunities, free food while you work, half the wages the next day after your shift. Just a fun, friendly environment at one of the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. So next time you're looking for that meal, think Taco Bell's. If you're looking for a job, speaking of jobs, how about Transportation Compliance Service? They can help you out every step of the way to get into the trucking industry. Transcompservice.com. We recommend transcompservice.com. And again, permits, overweight, DOT, all that good stuff. Check them out. They're a local company based in the Treasure Valley, helping folks all over the world. And if you're trying to get into the trucking industry, I highly recommend the folks over there at Transportation Compliance Service. All right, we got some comments rolling in here about the special teams, about the defensive backs. Let's see here. This is the first football game that BNN has not made it to. I am headed to the Cayman Islands Classic with the basketball team, so we will still have a pregame show and a postgame show. We will still have video of Spencer Danielson and the players. Boise State post that, and we'll still have that on the postgame show. We will still have full coverage. I will just be reporting on the game from TV, just like you guys. So couldn't be in two places at once, and this will be the first football game BNN has missed. It'll only be the fifth. Yes, only the fifth football game in 12 seasons of me moving to Boise that I have missed, home or road, and 3 of them because of basketball games here, obviously, the last couple of years, some of these tournaments. And so BNN made the decision, 3 games of the basketball tournament versus 1 football, made this back over the summer, so didn't really know kind of the impact of the football game, didn't know what all was going to be going on with the basketball team and tournament, but 3 games versus 1, and the Cayman Islands versus Laramie, Wyoming in late November. We just decided this was the best business decision at this point, and we'll still have you covered. We'll have pregame, we'll have a postgame show, we'll have all kinds of stuff from the Cayman Islands. We'll still have a pregame and postgame show for football. I'll still be watching the game, reporting on it. We just won't send Nathan to Laramie. He started too late. Believe me, I would have tried to do that maybe if we had brought him on a little earlier. I don't like not having any representative at the football game, but just no other way to do it. Mama Keene says Grand Cayman is a great reason to pick basketball. Agree with that. Look forward to seeing the Keene family and everybody down there. We'll still have it covered. Pre-game show, post-game show. The post-game show is actually going to be better because we can start it, 20 seconds after the game ends. So as soon as that football game ends against Wyoming, we're going to start that post-game show right afterwards because I don't have to go do interviews or anything else. So I actually think it's going to be it's going to work out better to be able to do the post-game show right after the game. And we'll still have you covered. You're not going to miss anything. You may just miss a little bit of live tweeting during the game, but other folks will have it covered for you as well. And I know KTVB, Jay's sticking back for this game as well and letting Brady go to Laramie. So me and Jay both will be missing this one, which doesn't happen very often. But the Idaho Press, Statesman, I'm sure KTVB, they'll all be there and they'll have all the news and all that. And I'll do the best to cover it remotely. Don't like missing a football game, obviously, and believe me, I tried to see if there was a way to get from Laramie, Wyoming on a Saturday night to the Cayman Islands by 9 a.m. on Sunday morning for the game, and it just wasn't possible. So chose the 3 football games, chose the 3 basketball games. I've done the last 2 tournaments, the Orlando tournament and the Myrtle Beach tournament, and you get a lot of good access with the basketball team and a lot of good stories and shows, and just thought that for right now, I own my own business, and I chose the Cayman Islands over Laramie, Wyoming. So it's as simple as that. So don't worry. But as I said, we'll still have all the pre and post game show stuff. And I can do it in a shirt, t-shirt, and shorts because it's going to be 85 degrees down there. We'll still have you covered. You won't miss any football news. You won't miss any basketball news. The only thing you might miss is no show on Thursday while I'm traveling. I'm still trying to work out the timing. We may not be able to get a show to you on Thursday as I am traveling before on the way down there. But the basketball team will play Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The Sunday game is 9 a.m., so we'll be live around 8 a.m. Boise time for that first game against Hampton. But, and I get to watch the Kansas game because Kansas plays Colorado at 1:30 right before the Boise State game. So I'll be able to watch the Kansas-Colorado game just like all of you guys and be rooting like heck for Kansas and then do a little pregame show and then watch Boise State and then do a postgame show. So I would have missed that entire game if I were in Laramie kind of on the field getting ready for stuff. So I'm actually super excited to get a chance to watch that game with all of you. Folks are asking about Flow Sports. Flow Sports, I'm going to have to do a little more research on that, but I believe it's an online like subscription service that you have to pay for. I don't know if they have a fee just for the tournament or per day or per game, but it is kind of a pay-per-view type situation that you'll have to do to watch the game. Because of this, I do plan to have more highlights than usual. So I'll have my iPhone here and our camera equipment, and I will be doing my best, kind of like Canada, to get some actual like legit highlights for you guys, because a lot of you may not be able to watch the game on Flow Sports. So I do hope to have some highlights, since BNN will be the only one down there with any kind of highlights. I guess Boise State will have a camera as well, but no other media is going down there. So I'll do my best to get you guys some highlights. Somebody's asking about how they're going to Bronco 130. Thoughts on how we should fare? I mean, Boise State should win the tournament. I mean, they really should. I think that it was a big bummer when Rutgers and Mississippi State backed out. You lost a little bit of the flair of the tournament, and they had to replace them at the last minute. So yeah, it's frankly anything less than 3-0 and winning this tournament, it will be a massive disappointment. Boise State needs to win this tournament, and they need to win it, frankly, like rather convincingly. Like some of these games, like you're supposed to beat Howard in the first game, or Hampton, I guess it is, by 21 points. Hampton, like you need to win by at least 21 points. You need to have a dominant tournament, improve the metrics, help yourself, and then come on back when the schedule gets started again. So the tougher games get going. So there you go. Sarah, Mrs. Keene says she'll be the sideline reporter, so maybe we can make that happen at some point. It should be a fun trip. It's good team bonding opportunities for the team. A lot of good opportunities at this point. It's a long ways away. But it is a tournament that they should win. And you remember last year they went 1-3 on that East Coast trip, lost 2 games in that tournament, had a rough trip back. But I think this is a big opportunity to win a championship, get some confidence, have a good trip, get some metric wins. I mean, they're not going to be impressive wins, to the committee or anything. You're not playing any good teams, really. Someone said High Point, I think, is the only decent team. You might have a chance at a quad 2 game against High Point. I'm not sure. But for the most point, it's a tournament you should win, but you want to win impressively. So there's still objectives down there. If they can win these games by big margins and still help their numbers, then it makes it an even more successful tournament. Because as we've talked about, like, it's almost better to beat a bad team by 40, than to have a close game against a really good team or whatever. Just the way the numbers work out, it's better to beat a bad team by 40 points. And that's what Boise State's going to have an opportunity to do in some of these games down here in the tournament. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be the games. Sunday is 9 a.m. If they win, I believe Monday would be 11:30 Mountain Time. And then if they win that, I believe it's 5:30 Mountain Time for the championship on Tuesday. So we will have full coverage of that, BroncoNationNews.com. But like I said, we will have full coverage of the football game as well, pregame show, postgame show, all that good stuff. Just won't physically be in Laramie for that football game. Couple more sponsors. I want to thank Signature Roofing. We want your voicemails. Signature Roofing, speakpipe.com/BNN. And I was supposed to give away the gift card today, and I, once again, for the second day in a row, forgot to draw the name. So I promise tomorrow's show we will draw the name. Signature Roofing voice inbox. Thanks again to RJ Keene and Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's re-roofs, whether it's inspections, estimates, repairs, they can do it all. They're covering our community for more than 2 decades. Locally owned roofing company. They do tremendous work there, and we can't wait to tell you more about them over the coming months. But we're loving our roof with Signature Roofing, and check them out. It's all, no obligation, free estimates, inspections, all that good stuff. mysignatureroofing.com is the website. And again, we want your voicemails at speakpipe.com/BNN. Riley and Rid is coming up tonight, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tonight from the James Kitchen and Bar. They'll probably be inside tonight, but really enjoyed these shows. Former players come on, tell some great stories. So if you can't make it to the James tonight, make sure you watch live at 8 o'clock. They'll answer pretty much any question you have. There's some hilarious questions that get asked, good questions on the YouTube chat. If you can watch it live tonight at 8, I highly recommend it. If you can't watch it live, you can watch it, obviously, on the YouTube channel on delay. But Riley and Rid, great mix there, great chemistry, and it's a great show, and I highly do recommend it there. LeanFeastMeridian.com. I recommend Lean Feast as well. Saw Andrew Meadow and a couple of guys walking out with some Lean Feast the other day after the game or practice, whatever it was. But 10,000-plus combinations, all various diets, and the thing I love about it is fully customizable. You see that food right there? It is fresh. It's not frozen. It's not pre-made. It's all made and packaged right there at Lean Feast. And again, it's in Eagle Road in U-Stick, right there by the Five Guys, ironically. And you can get, as many meals as you want. They're good in the microwave. Well, they're good in the refrigerator for 5 days, and then they're good in the microwave for 2 minutes. You just pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're eating steak, shrimp, chicken, fish, whatever. So I love the cauliflower rice for the keto options. They've got all kinds of breakfast, lunch, dinner. Check them out, again, online at leanfeastmeridian.com. Ashton Genty gear, you looking for it? Well, they got it at the Blue and Orange Store. Online, you can make your order at theblueandorangestore.com anywhere in the world. They have multiple racks, all the new Ashton Genty gear right there in the front of the store as well. It's right there in the Boise Town Square Mall on the second floor next to Pro Image. So again, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out. Online, theblueandorangestore.com, all your Ashton Genty gear, your coaches' sideline apparel, the sweatshirts as the weather starts to cool down here. They got the basketball jerseys, some NIL gear for Tyson Degenhart and others as well. So online, theblueandorangestore.com. It's the best selection at the best prices. And again, you can check them out in person at the Blue and Orange Store on the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall next to Pro Image. And if you missed it earlier in the show, Jackson's has announced a new NIL deal with Tyson Degenhart, Omar Stanley, and Andrew Meadow. And you can see the three of them right there with their drinks, and they get some money from Jackson's. They're part of an NIL deal now. They're going to do some commercials and things for Jackson's, but you get a benefit from this as well. If Boise State scores 70 points in any game in January or February, you can go on in 2 days later and get a hot dog, a soda, and a banana for just $2 at Jackson's. So root for the Broncos to get 70 points, and you get a hot dog, a soda, and a banana for $2 at Jackson's. And again, we appreciate our friends over at Jackson's food stores. And again, don't forget, if you're looking for snow removal, leaf removal, you need sprinkler closeout. I hope you've had the blowouts done already, but if you haven't, Alex Martin can help you out. 208 Lawn and Landscape. Check them out online, 208lawnandlandscape.com, 417-629-6832. He has a new updated 208 number as well, which you can get online at 208 Lawn and Landscape, 208 lawnandlandscape.com. All right, the college football playoff rankings, we talked about it. They're coming out tonight. This is what they looked like going into after last week. How will this change tonight? Can't wait to see it. Boise State, I think there's a chance they're the 4 seed, mostly for talking points, mostly for whatever else. I don't know if it'll stick in the final ranking, but hey, if Colorado loses again this week, if BYU loses, it very well could stick. So a lot of games still to be played, a lot of things to figure out, but certainly Boise State tonight going to be fun to watch the college football playoff rankings and see where Boise State comes in, and obviously it's intrigue, but doesn't mean a whole lot. It's fun talking points, and we'll see where they rank them as of now, but obviously a lot of games left and still the conference championship and things to go. But Boise State on Saturday will be playing for a spot to host the Mountain West Championship game in Albertson Stadium. And I don't know if they can technically announce it. I know they sent out the season ticket holder situation, in the event they host, but they've got to be the highest ranked team if there's 2 undefeated teams. If Colorado State and Boise State are both undefeated, the highest ranked team in the CFP rankings goes. That will likely be Boise State, but I don't know if they can announce that. I haven't talked to the Mountain West in terms of when it will officially be announced that Boise State is hosting the championship game. So I think that it's likely, and if they keep winning, they will, but they may not technically be able to announce that they're hosting and put tickets on sale till after they beat Oregon State on that Friday morning. But that still gives them a full week. I know the season ticket holders, I guess in the event they host, are already getting a chance to reserve their seats. So they're still out pushing. They're trying, but we'll have to wait and see when the Mountain West decides to announce officially they are hosting, because they pretty much wrap up a spot in the game, and I believe they wrap up, any kind of that kind of stuff with a win against Wyoming. But if Colorado State is also undefeated, I don't know if they can technically announce they're hosting, even though they probably will be until after Boise State beats Oregon State. But because I think even if they lose to Oregon State, they might still be ranked higher than Colorado State. But I don't know if they can just go ahead and announce that already until it's for sure. So we'll see how that all plays out. But obviously a lot of intrigue with the football game, and a lot of intrigue tonight to see what happens in those rankings. 8 o'clock, Riley and Ridd will have you covered. They'll have instant reaction to that. So make sure you check Riley and Ridd out tonight. They'll have some special guests. They'll talk about the rankings, tell some stories. and looking forward to that tonight. And then Brad Bedell and I tomorrow, we'll break down the rankings, talk football, talk special teams, talk the issues with the secondary. What's a bigger concern for Brad, the secondary or the special teams? We'll get Brad Bedell's thoughts 9 a.m. tomorrow here on Bronco Nation News. So support all the sponsors, many of which you see on your screen, and we appreciate all of them. We just super excited about the next couple of months. Football, basketball, going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully the first spot you turn to for your Boise State coverage is BroncoNationNews.com, the website, and the shows here at Bronco Nation News. So make sure your credit card info is up to date. Log into your account, updated. If you're set to renew here in the next couple of weeks, make sure your credit card info is up to date. If you're on the fence about subscribing, we'd love to have you subscribe. Again, we've added Nathan Carroll to the mix, so you're going to get an extra 3 articles a week from him. I just had my article posted about the special teams unit and their struggles. You can go read that at BroncoNationNews.com as well. And a lot of great things coming down the pipe for paying subscribers, including that private jet trip for 2. If you're a yearly subscriber, we'll draw a name in January probably or December when we decide the game. And a lucky subscriber is going to get to go to on a private jet to a road basketball game later on this season, a conference game. We're looking at either San Diego, Las Vegas, New Mexico, one of the bigger games. So make sure you're a paying yearly subscriber. They're all eligible. So make sure you check into that, and we will see. Marco Notriani, before I get out of here, he is talking today. So we will try to clarify this. For the last couple of years, it first started as Notarini. Then we found out from Mike Sanford and others, it's actually Notriani. It's been Notriani for the last 2 years. And then Spencer Danielson at the press conference said Notarini again. So I don't know if he just slipped up and said it wrong or if they're going back to a previous pronunciation. I don't know. That stuff changes a lot. I mean, it was Emmanuel Ugbo last year, and now all of a sudden it's Emmanuel Ugbo. DeMarcus Lawrence changed putting hit the M, and DeMarcus was never capitalized in college. Then he got to the Cowboys and started doing that as well and capitalizing the M. So it just stuff changes. It's great. It's hard to keep track sometimes, but our understanding has been that it's, even though it looks like Notarini, that it's actually Notriani. But Spencer Danielson did say it differently in the press conference yesterday. So if we get a chance, we are talking to Marco today. We will try to get that answered for you. So we're going to talk to some players. We'll get those posted on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe here to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel, as we'll have all the player interviews and things available for you. And then the best part is turn on your notifications. If you turn on a notification for Bronco Nation News on YouTube, whenever we upload a video or we go live, you'll be able to see that and be able to right away go watch our videos and things like that. And when we do a pre or post show that you're not sure exactly when it's going to start, if your notifications are turned on, it lets you know right away that we are live. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. We hope you pay to be a subscriber. You can use that promo code at the bottom of the screen. BNN 50 deal gets you a $50 1-year deal, $20 off the normal price of $70. It renews every year after that at $70. But we appreciate all of you for subscribing. If you can't, at a minimum, we hope you subscribe for free to YouTube. And we hope, if you can't afford $50 for a subscription, I totally get it. But when you're looking for a new car or a new painting project or a new Ashton Genty shirt or a new bank or all the very, new, dinner, we hope that you will support the sponsors and, return the favor. So appreciate, there you go. Just for that follow-up, I'm going to subscribe to BNN. So you have questions you want answered, we will go get them answered, like how you pronounce Marco Notarini's last name. We will get that today on camera and play it for you, and then we'll figure that out. I'm looking forward to what's ahead for BNN and excited to get to some warmer weather, but a lot of coverage this week. Football, basketball, will be all over everything. We appreciate you guys. More cool things about BNN coming in the future. But again, subscribe now so you're eligible for that jet trip. So you're eligible to get all of Nathan Carroll's analytics articles and my articles and Mike Prater's columns and all that great stuff. So I'm excited about that. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much. And again, support the sponsors. Subscribe and go read 2 new stories, one from Nathan Carroll, one from me at BroncoNationNews.com right now. I made the Nathan Carroll one free so you can kind of see his article and what you're going to get, and then maybe that'll convince you to want to subscribe here moving forward. So we're going to get down to Boise State. We got some player interviews to get to. We'll get those posted on the YouTube channel this afternoon, and then you got Ball Talk at 8 o'clock tonight. You got Brad Bedell and myself at 9 a.m. tomorrow. A lot of live shows, a lot of content. And again, we'll all be watching the college football playoff rankings tonight to see where the committee puts Boise State. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate everybody for checking us out on this extended edition of Bronco Nation News Live from the Western Collective Studios. Again, make sure you pick up that Horseshoe Golden Ale or the Orange Chaos Seltzer at Albertson Stadium, Extra Mile Arena, or your major retailers. And join us Saturday night, 5 o'clock at Western Collective's brewery there in Garden City for the watch party for the Horseshoe Collective. A portion of the proceeds from the sales go to support the Horseshoe Collective, putting money back in the pocket of Boise State student athletes. And again, you get great food, great drink specials there at the brewery, and you get to watch the Boise State game against Wyoming with some other Boise State fans and have a good time. So they put new TVs in there, and that's going to be a great spot there for the watch party against Wyoming. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. There would be no Bronco Nation News without our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. So please support them as well as all of our major sponsors on a Taco Bell Tuesday. Take the family to Taco Bell today. Highly recommend the food there. Idaho Central Credit Union, the Blue and Orange Store, Lithia Ford of Boise, Jackson's Transportation Compliance Service, Signature Roofing, Snake River Pool and Spa, all of our major sponsors. All of our sponsors in general, when you throw in Bousher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets. I know I'm probably forgetting a couple now, so I need to scroll real quick to make sure I don't leave anybody out. But super thankful and appreciative of all of our great sponsors, and hope that you guys will continue to support them and continue to support us. Have a great rest of your day. Riley and Rid will see you at 8 o'clock tonight. Brad and I will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com.